Well, after the whole E3 thing, and it's obvious that Sony pretty much won this one, I think I decided I like to reminisce about how I became a gamer. Alright, looking back, when I was a kid, young boy, I used to live in Anchorage, Alaska. A nice little house, basement. Earliest console I had was a Nintendo SNES system. However, I didn't play it for games. It was just another toy to me. It wasn't really a gaming console. The earliest game I can remember having was, well, actually, it might not have been an SNES because I swear one game that I always remember. There was always this one game. I think it was Little Nemo in Dreamland. The reason why I say it might have been that, because when I look back, the graphics seem familiar. When I look at like gameplay and so on. And the SNES never had a port of that. No remake or anything. Anyway, that broke and we pretty much got rid of it, sadly. I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping it as like a souvenir, even if I can't play it. I also remember there was like this little girl who I used to go over to her house every once in a while. She had a Genesis. Yeah, that I do remember. I used to play Sonic on that. Me, I saw no difference between Genesis and either NES or SNES. I didn't know what it was. It was a games. They're both consoles. I had fun. We didn't even call it Genesis. We just called it a Sega. Yeah, the Sega. Yeah, her name was Sarah. Yeah, I remember because that was the name of Triceratops in Land Before Time. Yeah, good times. So then I moved to Scylla when I was, I think I was around 7. Yeah, yeah, I think I was 7 when I was, and I got one of my first real consoles, the N64. First game, Mario Kart 64. Oh, how I had so much fun with that, spending hours just playing, play with friends, play on my own. Didn't matter, I had fun. Other titles I enjoyed playing was Donkey Kong. Well, not Donkey Kong. I rented that. And that was. I had fun with that one. I never actually bought Donkey Kong 64. I had fun with Harvest Moon 64. There was Banjo Kazooie. There was Mischief Maker. Shake, 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 shake. Why have they ever done a port of that yet? That would be a good game on the Wii U, to be honest. Let's port of that classic platformer. Might be hard to input the buttons because, the point is, I had a lot of fun with the N64 when I was a kid. It was around that point when I started not having friends. When you're in elementary school, no one really cares who you are. No one, you're only picked on for lesser things. You're smaller than someone, you have braces, which I did have, glasses, which obviously I do have, but nothing really personal. The moment I hit middle school and people started seeing me walk into the special ed room at the back of the school, which I have to question, why is it in the back? Pretty much I was a social pariah. No one wanted anything to do with me. My friends from elementary school moved to others middle schools, so pretty much I was on my own. Sorry, a little tired. So pretty much my solace was gaming. I had a choice between getting a PlayStation 2 or a GameCube. When I was a kid, I had Nintendo Power. I got the power. In fact, my first issue, I honestly don't know how I got it. It just came in the mail one day. I don't even my parents don't know even remember how I got it. I don't know if it was a gift from a family member. subscription. It was a gift from my family. A friend. Point is, with Nintendo Power, I had access to information from Nintendo games, cheat codes, strategies, previews. I didn't even know about this sort of thing. Then I saw the GameCube and some of the games that are coming up, and I'm like, that's for me. At that point, I became a little Nintendo fanboy. I had a bias towards the Xbox and the PlayStation, which is sad because I missed out on a lot of good games. Maybe not as much on, say, the Xbox. I mean, because the Xbox original, while it was good, didn't quite have as many good games on it as, say, the PlayStation 2. I think out of whoever won, would have won, probably could have been the PlayStation 2. If only for the amount of games it had. I mean, quite a variety. But that's just personal opinion. Everybody's got their opinion. So, yeah, I got the GameCube. My first game was, well, it was Super Mario Sunshine, but the first game I actually bought, and it just between Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers. I went, I believe I went with Smash Brothers first, and then it was Animal Crossing. And I loved Animal Crossing. I loved everything about it. It came with my love of reminded me of Harvest Moon when I was a little kid. I was addicted to that. In Harvest Moon, I went through 10 in-game years. There's just something nostalgic opened up inside me when I played Animal Crossing. It was a game that I didn't have to fight in or do anything, you know. And I could make friends with everybody, and they would love me. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. Maybe I like games like that. I was just a little lonely little boy. So then I moved down to Idaho, and up in Alaska, my dad also bought a PlayStation 2, which I did not appreciate as much at the time. Oh, I did play a few games on it, like Sly Cooper. Oh man, that was one awesome raccoon. I gotta remember to get a PlayStation 3. I mean, once the PS4 comes out, they are gonna go down in price, and it is gonna be a great time to grab them. I mean, and besides, it probably would be a good idea. Should probably try looking for an older model. That way I can play PS2 games. Then I can just download the PS1 games I want on there. That would work. So why don't I have a PS2 anymore? Well, I was stupid. I thought I played all the games I wanted to play, and I did not realize about the PS1 games. Kind of an idiot. I'm kind of an idiot that way. So many PlayStation 1 games I miss. Now, the only two PlayStation 1 games I've ever played was for my brother. Long story short, my mom, well, she couldn't take care of both me and my brother, so I got adopted by my grandparents. And growing up, me and my brother had a bit of a weren't exactly the best of friends. Oh yeah, we agreed on a few things, but it was our clash of personalities. Ironically, we didn't always stay on the same sync. You see, when I was crazy, he was serious, but when he was crazy, I was serious. We were never on the same wavelength. But he did have a PlayStation 1, and it introduced me to my first Final Fantasy game. This is the Final Fantasy game. This is actually my brother's. He gave it to me as a gift for my birthday when I was 18. First Final Fantasy game I actually beaten. I did on the PlayStation 2. I've never played Final Fantasy 7. Well, I did. I borrowed it, but I never went very far because because it was close to graduation, and he wanted it back. The guy wanted it back before, yeah. I had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun. Anyway, back with the story. So GameCube. GameCube comes and goes, and, you know, I have a choice between Wii, 360, PS3. After looking through, I decided the 360 was probably my best option, judging by the games. This was actually during a time when they were all out. So, you know, the Halo 3 is still out. You know, I'm like 2 years into the party, because at the time I was kind of ignoring. So I get the 360 first game, Halo 3 naturally. But I also got Oblivion. Introduced me to Elder Scrolls, and I gotta say I loved it. Fallout 3, yeah, I got introduced to that, but you know, I was convinced by some friends over in high school. No, yeah, in high school. I actually started making friends because guess what? One of my old friends from Boy Scouts when I was in Alaska moved down to Idaho, and he was a star football player. Pretty much, I didn't use that to get my way, but it was enough for the cool people to look at me in a way that's like, okay, so he's a nerd, but you know, he's friends with him. Well, let's give him a chance. And I basically got the reputation as one of the cool nerds. You know, I'm not cool, but I'm not a pariah. Hell, I was a bit of a card shark. They enjoyed some of my trivia and everything. They liked some of the trivia and everything. You know, they were especially impressed with my knowledge of the Madden NFL curse, where apparently, if you're on the cover of a Madden NFL game, your career is gonna go down the hole. Seriously, look it up. It's actually plausible. So yeah, the 360. Oh man, so many good games. In fact, how about I name a few of my favorites? Out of my book of gaming victories. Ah, yes, Bioshock. 2009. Man, I've had this for years. Well, not the notebook. I mean, no, the games I've beaten. But actually, the earliest game I've beaten was Halo 3. In the, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh, so June 13th, 2009. Wow, 2 days from the 3-year anniversary. 4-year anniversary. Not bad. Yeah, I beat a lot of games. I had so much fun when I was a little kid. Just a little boy. Hmm. Yeah. At the time, my internet connection wasn't that good, so I couldn't play online that much. Hell, some of my entries have unknown times because I went by achievements, and when achievements are unlocked offline, it just says unknown. There's no time period. Dragon Age. Had fun with that one. A lot of people didn't like the sequel Dragon Age 2, and you know what? I can see why, but I liked the combat. The combat felt a lot smoother than, say, in Origins. I actually felt like I was slaying people. And, you know, ugh, in Herlocks or whatever they're called. Borderlands, that was fun. Bulletstorm, Dead Space. I had fun with Mafia 2. Nice nostalgic vibe. The Fable series. Actually, I did have some. Actually, now I remember why I chose a 360. Because I realized that the Xbox was good. As a little kid, I was under the impression that Nintendo owns everything. Everybody else sucks. Like I said, little fanboy. I was starting to understand that the PS2 wasn't that bad. That and especially since that's the fact that you could play DVDs, and CDs. Something the GameCube could never do. Except those little discs, which still confuse me. Xbox had pretty much thrown out the door. Until when we moved down, we were staying at my friend's house, Jackson, In case you're wondering, he's in the military now. So is his brother. His brother's guarding Fort Knox. And I believe my other friend's in Cuba. Yeah, I think he's in Cuba right now. Anyway, their family had an Xbox. And I got introduced to Fable. Okay, I know that's not exactly a good introduction to say the Xbox, but to me, I loved role-playing games. I absolutely loved getting sucked into a new adventure. And Fable introduced me to the morality system where I could be good or evil. I suppose a better introduction would have been Knights of the Old Republic, but at the time, I did not even know about it until a little later, and then I replayed it, and then, yay! Awesome! I get to be a Jedi or a Sith! Usually I was the Jedi, but let me tell you something. Force Lightning is your best weapon if you're good or evil. More so in KOTOR 2. I mean, seriously, you can get so overpowered with that. Literally wipe the floor with everything with just a few clicks of a button. So that's what got me into it, Fable. Now, Fable series isn't, yeah, it's not that good. Peter Molyneux, I know he means well, but the guy's a bit of a loony. But then again, these games have heart, which I could probably say is a lot more than other AAA games that come out. At least he's trying. Yes, he's failing, but could be worse. Assassin's Creed. Ugh. You know, at first I thought I would never want to get into Assassin's Creed. I thought it was just boring. I rented it once, couldn't do well with the controls. But then again, that was a time when I did not know how to. I was not a pro. Okay, I'm not exactly a pro, but let's just say my muscle memory hasn't developed yet. When I couldn't manipulate the controls or the buttons as well as I could nowadays. Then I keep hearing that, the Assassin's Creed like 2, Brotherhood, Revelations were good, and I figured maybe I should get into it. If you know me, you know that I do not like going into a series without playing without going to the beginning. The thing about me, I just don't like going into a sequel without going into the prequel. Unless I can help it. Like, I couldn't play the original 2 Fallouts before I played Fallout 3. The good news is that they're a standalone thing, very rarely being actual sequels, and even if they are, they usually only reference stuff. It's not, you don't actually have to know what happened. Of course, with Fallout 2, you revisit old places, but it's more, you don't have to know what happened. Still, it'd be really freaky to go into a Vault 13 after playing Fallout 1 and then finding out it's full of Deathclaws, the guys you wanted to avoid the first time. Yeah. Oh, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Modern Warfare is definitely one game. I like to see it as a good Michael Bay movie. Basically the one he never had. My first Modern Warfare was actually second one. I was in a Halo 3 clan. We moved to Modern Warfare 2 at the time. In fact, Modern Warfare 2 is the only Call of Duty game I've ever actually beaten on the hardest difficulty, which was in November 18th, 2010. I think the reason why I was able to beat it is only because. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not too, not that. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Call of Duty Black Ops when I beat that regular difficulty. No, I beat Modern Warfare 2 on February 1st, 2010. My bad. I thought it was pretty good. Gunplay was good. Multiplayer, okay, full of noob tubes and spawn campers and people who abuse the hell out of the full metal jackets and burst rifle guns. But still, it was pretty good. Gotta say, it was hard to beat on veteran, but it was possible. The other games are impossible because they just respawn all the enemies. Infinitely respawning enemies does not equal challenge. It equals tedium. Not to mention, you call yourself realistic. Condemned Criminal Origins and Condemned 2 Bloodshots definitely recommended on my list of great horror games. Well, more or less atmospheric. Fear in horror is subjective. You can pretty much just say something is. I could tell you that a goldfish is scary and give you why. These games are more atmospheric. You get a sense of being alone in dread, especially since you're great. You don't have a lot of guns in the game, and when you do, you're limited on ammo. You literally can check, see how much ammo you have. You don't have like a counter, so you're mostly stuck with melee weapons. So when you're in the game and you have to face these, insane homeless people with like a piece of rebar, that's actually pretty terrifying. Actually, I'd say Condemned. The first Condemned is pretty much an underappreciated gem, underrated. The second one, is good in the beginning, but then it gets a little crazy in the end. It's like Indigo Prophecy. Insane in the beginning, insane in the end, but not bad. Yahtzee says it was all right, and in fact, that's how I found out about the games. L.A. Noire, published by Rockstar, but the company behind it died. Not bad too. It was a really good game, and it was nice to actually have a new take on the adventure style point and click adventure. We didn't get that until well, till Walking Dead. So many, so much stuff. I played plenty of games. I played old ones. I played like Quake 4. That was actually a pretty good classic shooter. I rather enjoyed it. Cheesy, yes. Bad graphics, yes. But infinitely more fun than any generic third-person shooter you get nowadays. Batman Arkham Asylum. Oh, man, that was good times. I had fun with those. When I was a kid, I didn't usually get interested in superheroes. I only knew of the superheroes, maybe a bit of backstory, a few exploits and the villains. I mean, who didn't know about the Joker? That guy was awesome, especially voiced by Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, you are awesome. And Arkham Asylum pretty much brought back my childhood nostalgia. It was fun beating up the bad guys. It was graceful. It was like a ballet of pain whenever you fought. Even better in Arkham City. I'm pretty excited for the new Arkham game. That's going to be a lot of fun. I just know it. Anyway, it was around the time of 2012 when I started getting into emulated games, like on my Game Boy Advance emulator and Super Nintendo emulator. I played a lot of classic games, mostly ones mentioned on the Happy Video Game Nerd and 16-bit gems from Clan of the Grey Wolf. Seriously, look them up. They're really good. Played some good games like EVO, The Search for Eden, Sunset Riders, ActRaiser. Even was able to beat Contra 3 Alien Wars. Not easy, even on the easiest setting. Take it from me. Or just watch the Game Grumps video when they're doing it. Seriously, it is not easy. So many. Had a lot of fun. I have to wonder. We're coming to a new generation. My As for this generation, I would say the winner of this generation was the 360 for having multiple games of different varieties for everybody, focusing more on the gameplay rather than the hardware, and having a much better user-friendly live system, despite the multiplayer live system, despite the fact that you had to pay for it. Second place would probably go to the PS4, not PS4, PS3, if only because of much better hardware. It going into Blu-ray, which would have more data. The games looked a lot better than on the 360, almost to PC quality. Well, really good PC quality. I mean, there was already PC. All these games can be technically PC quality. Just depends on your definition on how good quality PC is. And finally, in last place, the Wii. But the Wii still has a special place in my heart because I've always loved Nintendo and its games. Next, my prediction for next one. PS4 will probably dominate most of the time. Maybe the Xbox One will probably gain some ground back. They'll probably fix some of their mistakes. I honestly can't predict. The Wii U would probably remain a constant average. You'll have some great games like the new Smash Brothers, which I am excited about, especially since Mega Man! Seriously, why didn't they have Mega Man the first time? Seriously, you could have all sorts of kinds. You could have original Rockman, X, you could have like the NT Warrior Mega Man. You could have the Star Force Mega Man. There's a butt ton of Mega Man. Just don't give us the Mega Man 7 cutscenes Mega Man. At least not the Dr. Light. Seriously, not him. So, yeah. Wii U will remain a constant. It'll have some innovation with a lot of its games. Probably make it big on the board game by selling a lot of board games related stuff, which I think would be awesome. Uh, the Xbox One is probably going to either fail right out the gate or just not going to do as well. And Microsoft will either go back and try and improve the 360, but then they'll be back in the dust. Or worst case scenario, Microsoft will just say, we're done with gaming. We failed. So this has pretty much been a look back at my nostalgia as gaming. I hope you enjoyed listening. And yeah. As always, I'm Bren Tenkage, and I'll see you later.